Are you wondering what the blank is going on in the real estate market? Watch this. Yo, what is up, everybody? Justin with the Spire Realty Group coming to you live from Anchorage, Alaska, and I'm bringing you the November market update for 2022. So I'm sure you guys have been watching the news, just kind of talking with neighbors, looking on Zillow, Realtor.com, or whatever website you're getting information from, and kind of wondering, like, what is going on with the real estate market and what's going to happen, right? I mean, I would think that even with different news sources, they're kind of conflicting, right? So let's kind of break down what is happening nationally as well as locally, what the Feds just announced last week, which is kind of big, and then let's break it down and let's go. So, as of last week, the Fed announced some positive information finally, right? Over the last few months, it's been pretty kind of scary as far as what's going to happen with inflation. Are we going to a recession? Are we going to have a market crash? I mean, all these things have been kind of a big question mark for a lot of you, and that's understandable, especially with what the news is pushing out. So let's break down into the actual numbers and give you some real data. So as of last week, the Fed announced the CPI report came out from October, right, which showed some positives to the cooling that they've been trying to do over the last 6-7 months as far as trying to reduce inflation. So in September, the inflation was 8.2%, which was way over what they wanted. We're starting to finally see some cooling effects, and they released the number from October, and that fell down to 7.7, so a 0.5% reduction in inflation over one singular month, which is a good sign. So obviously, when they announced the reduction in inflation, that obviously created a big market stir in the stock market, the bond market, and it had a favorable impact on mortgage rates across the board. So overall, we saw roughly, not even almost a 2.2% reduction in interest rates. It is one of the largest rate reductions in a single day in U.S. history, close to it, but massive rate reduction. So if you're buying a home, you should probably check in with your lender. So let's break down kind of what's happening on a national level, right? So every real estate market is going to be different, but nationally overall, what we're seeing is, inventory is starting to reduce. So the amount of homes available is just not there. Obviously, the amount of competition in the real estate market is not there as well. So it's almost a wash for sellers and buyers, right? So you don't have the competition for buyers, so the sellers want the competition, right, because it drives home values up. But at the same time, there's just not enough, but buyers have pulled back, but there's no inventory, so there's not much to choose from. So the buyers that are out there don't have a lot to choose from, and of course the sellers, they just don't have the buyer pool. So it's kind of a wash there. So, let's move into kind of like what's happening more locally, because as a national level, it doesn't really impact us here in Alaska too much, as we are just a pretty small independent market away from what we call the lower 48. So in the Anchorage area, what we're seeing is obviously the amount of homes available has been going down over the last few months, but the price point of homes being sold has stayed pretty stagnant. Yes, we've seen some price reductions, and we've seen some seller concessions and stuff like that, and we're going to continue to see that throughout the winter months. It's very common in the winter months to see more of that than the summertime. It's a cooler market than the hot market that happens during what we call our hot months or the summer, right? And so you're going to see more of that. So as a buyer, definitely plenty of opportunity, because you're going to have some sellers who are just needing to sell a property versus wanting to sell a property. And sellers, you're going to a position of opportunity as well, because there's just not as much competition for homes available for the buyer pool that's out there. Now, if you have a home that's priced higher than our median sales prices, which is around $430,000, $440,000, the interest rates are really kind of starting to impact buyers in that above that price point. So we're starting to see a lot of those buyer pools move down because of the monthly payment and affordability of homes with the interest rates rising. But with an almost 2% reduction, we may see buyers move back up just because now they can afford additional $60,000, $80,000, almost $100,000 in homes where they were a week ago. So definitely now is a time to get some things on market because, like I said, our amount of homes available has been shrinking month over month for the last few months. So now that let's move into Wasilla and Palmer area. So the Matsu borough, what we may consider the valley, right? So we're seeing somewhat of the same thing. We're seeing inventory and the amount of homes available continue to decrease over and over, but home prices has been pretty stagnant as far as, homes sold over the last few months. So we're not seeing a whole lot of up. We're not seeing a whole lot of down, just pretty much even keel across and has stagnated for home prices across the board. So still plenty of opportunity for buyers, just not the competition we had earlier on in the year. Sellers were still lacking inventory. Now that we're beyond September and kind of into the winter months, most of those home builds that started in the spring, a lot of those have already got on market and sold or have seen some price reductions on them. So plenty of opportunity for both sellers and buyers. Like I said, we're kind of in that middle ground now just because of the rates, even though we just don't have a lot of homes on market. So what does that mean for you as a buyer or seller? Like I said, just a lot of opportunity either way. Okay. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this on this market update. I definitely want to, do these every few weeks to a month as we get new MLS added data that comes out. So to share it with you guys, so you guys get some actual data of what's kind of going on. We'll release, December's with the new market update and with this new CPI report. Obviously, hopefully showing even some more cooling on in inflation and a rate below 7.7%. That would be even more beneficial, and I'm sure we'll potentially see mortgage rates decrease again. So we'll keep you posted. And as always, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you want to have some more info, make sure to drop us a comment down below or give us a call, 907-313-8805. We'll be sure to answer those. Obviously, answer all of our comments. And we will see you on the next one.